Okay, so we're minutes away from VCO Infinity kicking off, and I'm really excited to show you guys around and just give you guys a bit of an insight into what happens during one of these events behind the scenes. Now, last time I made one of these videos, I just showed you guys the setup I have. Not a lot has changed since then, although the MacBook that I had in the other video is not next to me. It's on a completely different desk to the right of me over there. So I'm basically just gonna bring you guys along, just kind of explain why I do things, how I do it, my whole workflow, because sort of like real life motorsport where content as soon as it's shot needs to go out like that, it's no different to sim racing. But let me take you guys around my setup, show you what I'm working with, what's going on, and then we'll jump in and make some cool content. I've also just realized I've gone to load into the first session and realized I don't own Fuji. So I've had to buy it quickly and update it. And the first round literally starts in a few minutes. And also the broadcast is starting, so I should probably hurry up and join the session. Right, I will get to the setup tool in a second. I should just quickly do this. Let me show you guys what we're working with today. We're still running the 3 monitor setup with the PC, where of course we've got OBS on this screen over here. We've got the main game iRacing on there, and then of course we've got the stream and like Discord and everything else as well. I quite like this setup because it gives me room to kind of work with, because if I had say like 2 monitors, I have to kind of cram OBS and like other stuff on there, and it just makes my workflow like a lot better. So although I would say 3 screens for a lot of people is a bit overkill, specifically for what I'm doing, it's no problem at all. I'd even argue, to be honest, I could probably, if I had a 4th monitor, I could probably find a use for it, to be honest. Okay, and then the new setup is my MacBook with its own desk. So I sort of got this after Christmas. Having the standing desk does help a lot, especially with like these 24-hour races where I'm sort of sat at that setup over there for hours and hours on end. Occasionally standing up and being able to do my work at the same time does help, but also just having a separate like working station for just work in general has really helped a lot, to be honest, with like productivity and things. We are of course rocking the MacBook, which needs a serious upgrade. This is an M1 Air. It does the job, it's not great though, so that will need an upgrade soon. And then we have got, I think this is a 32-inch ultra-wide curve monitor. Right, with that being said, I am gonna jump in now to the race and get set up, get locked in, and I'll take you guys kind of through that first couple of shots. Basically just show you guys what goes into making the shots, what I'm thinking, how I do it, all that kind of stuff. There's no gatekeeping, it's just me showing you how I make these videos, to be honest. Oh my word, I don't have the liveries installed. Oh boy, that's not good. I'm usually a bit more organized than this. But so right now I'm just, something I should have done earlier is upload the paints, because obviously if you take a video of a bunch of cars with no liveries on them or anything like that, it looks a bit weird. So let me just do that quickly. Okay, there we go, all the paints are on. Crisis averted, I think. Well, the paint's loading. Oh no, trading paints is on, isn't it? Ah, heck. No, trading paints is not on. Why are the paints not loading? Interesting, paints aren't loading for me. Right, the worst thing you can do is panic when things go wrong. Like it's a sim racing game. There will always be technical issues and all sorts of other stuff that you might not necessarily have when you're actually out on track filming. So they're just trying to manage it, make the best out of the situation, really. That's all you can do. Obviously, I wanted to get a shot of the start, which we still can do. We might not be able to get it right at the start when they go past the start-finish line, but I can do a shot of the start at like a different part of the track. So that is, I think that's probably what I'm gonna do, to be honest. Oh wait, have I put it in the wrong? I might be. Why? Hang on. Boys, I think I figured it out. Yeah, okay. I put them in the wrong bloody folder. That should fix it now. Yeah, I think it might have started fixing it. Yep, there we go. Okay, fixed. Now there was a crash at the start which I can't capture, unfortunately. We will do a shot of them coming down into the hairpin. It's a nice heavy braking. Ooh, that's a bit of a crunch. Nice heavy braking part of the track. So I always use the scenic cam for pretty much everything. Obviously there are other cams you can use, and I don't really think there's necessarily a right or wrong way to use the cameras to some degree. It really is just about being creative, but I mean, obviously you guys can kind of watch what I'm doing with settings. Clip distance I always set at like the minimal, just so that if I increase it, you get that sort of clipping, which isn't great. For static shots, I usually just leave the motion blur at 1. I might put the aperture to, I'll put it at 3. And then, actually I might decrease that a little bit. And then the focus depth. Trying to make the shot have as much depth of field as possible is quite important. So, all right, here we go. This is just literally going to be a static shot. I'm not going to move, do nothing like that. And then I'll then convert this shot into a 9:16 shot for social media and then send it off to VCO. Right, so we're going to move over to the editing setup quickly, get a clip done for the start, and then so I can send it off so then VCO has something to work with. Okay, we've actually got to kind of do this quickly because there is stuff happening all over, and I don't really want to miss a lot of it, to be honest. This will be a very quick one. I'm not going to add any music to this one just because it's a clip. Like, then gives Florian the freedom to kind of do whatever he wants with the clip in terms of like music and other stuff. With like sim racing videography and stuff, is that unlike in the real world, if you miss something, that's it. Sim racing videography, you can go back, you can rewind. It is a bit more relaxing in that sense, but I think the thing that makes it a tad bit stressful is just trying to get clips out quickly so that they, one, of course, stay relevant, but also you want to have that nice quick workflow of pumping out clips and getting stuff done so that you can then go back to the sim and then not have to constantly rewind, go through everything and then basically play catch up, because that's not what you want to do. Okay, right. Now what happens is once I've got the video done, obviously Florian sends a upload link for the race, and then I basically just go and upload that onto their cloud drive that they use for that. So that's what I'm going to do now. Right, and that's being uploaded. So now I'm just going to spend some time doing a bit of catch up, trying to capture all the highlights and stuff I've missed, just get some general clips, and then go from there. The races are 45 minutes, so I do have time to go through it and just get stuff done. So I'm spending some time doing that, and then I'll kind of walk you guys through what I'm doing once I've played catch up. Okay, so I've spent some time catching up now and gotten a few clips that I needed. All I'm doing now really is just waiting for any sort of interesting moments. I try not to capture the same thing or every single highlight over and over again because it then makes the video repetitive. So I try to look at, like, you know, things like close racing, any cool overtakes, that sort of thing. And of course with these NASCAR trucks, it's pretty unpredictable racing at the moment. You know, there's all sorts of sends happening, all sorts of drama and things happening. Oh my word. So yeah, literally like that. So I leave iRacing to focus on crashes. I find that when you set it to that, iRacing picks up the close racing a lot better. Whereas if you set it to focus on most exciting, it doesn't always pick it up very well, but with focus on crashes, you find that it does. So literally, like it just picked this up, like over here. So a cool little example over here of PGZ and G&G going, and Miniti Racing going 3 wide. That is actually a really cool. That's a cool little highlight to have. So what I will end up doing here. So for example, we've got a little bit of a 3 wide thing going on over here. I won't use the scenic cam for this because I won't be able to follow them as closely as I want to. So I'll go into like a nose cam, say for example. And also you've got to be careful when you're using the nose cam, because obviously the nose cam will focus purely on the car that it's attached to. So in this case, I might actually just use the end car, because then I can sort of do this and it doesn't affect the camera too much. Alright, and I might give it a bit of an angle. Motion blur for these kind of shots, I'll probably leave it about sort of between 4 and 5. And then the field of view, that'll be okay. I've got to remember as well, I can't zoom in the picture too much, so just because obviously this is all going to be in vertical format, and if it's too zoomed in, you miss a lot of the action and what's kind of happening around. So I think about here looks okay. That's sort of like a nice shot of them all going 3 wide, and I can kind of move the camera around as well, which is probably going to do. So let's record that clip. Okay, there we go. So that's one clip done. So just kind of things like that, interesting things. Doesn't always have to be every single crash and every single little highlight, because I found that in the past that I find that my videos end up becoming quite repetitive. I also really like these kind of onboard cams as well, kind of capturing all the little close moments of like close racing and stuff like that. That always looks really cool. So yeah, that is pretty much what we're going to be doing for every race, and of course there's 24 races to do, so there's going to be a lot of content shot today. Another thing that I like doing with my shots as well, especially with this being sim racing, there's a lot of shots you can get during the race that just wouldn't be possible during a normal race. So like, say for example with this shot, the nice little shot on the rear fender. Obviously in a normal race, in the real world, you wouldn't be able to get that kind of shot during a race, because obviously you can't mount a camera onto the fender of a car during a race. You will probably get in trouble for that if you do so. So I like to try and experiment and use a lot of different camera angles and stuff that you wouldn't usually be able to see in real life. And really my aim with a lot of the clips and videos that I make is to try give people a different perspective. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Right, so Damon Woods is going to win this race, and what I'll now do is then take a still of him crossing the line with maybe like the checkered flag waving, or when he stops, maybe take like a nice static shot of him kind of as like a hero shot for the winner of that race. I'll probably send that off, and maybe like keep the rest of the footage for later on in the event to then put together like an actual highlight. Okay, so we're gonna do like a hero shot of the car. So I'm gonna go from about here, maybe increase the field of view. We'll then do a little just orbit view of the car, go off the livery, just try to be as steady as possible on the controls. Don't try not to make too many sudden movements or anything like that. And there we go. Okay, so that's race 1 done now. Now you should kind of have an idea of like my workflow and how I kind of do things. So I think we've got a couple of minutes to jump over to the next session. I'm gonna go get the hero shot that you saw earlier edited and sent off to VCO so they can go post that. So that's all done. Replay is uploading, winner shot has been uploaded. So now race 2 starting. I've got all the paints and everything loaded, which is good. So that means I don't miss the start and I can get a nice shot of the start of the race, which is also really handy. Now you guys kind of know how I go about making the videos and kind of what my workflow is like. So race 2 is now starting. I'm gonna jump into that, get some clips, and then go from there really. Right, so that is the end of it. But I hope you guys found this video interesting, just giving you guys an insight into what goes on with sim racing videography. It's not really something that's mentioned quite a lot, so taking you guys along and showing you guys what actually goes into making the videos you see on social media and stuff like that on sim racing. Just showing you guys another sort of niche or side of videography that you don't always see in motorsport. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as it does help out the channel a lot. And drop in the comments what else you want to see, or any other behind the scenes stuff you want to see as well, with other special events coming up and stuff like that as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.